Okay, so this is our last lesson of the chapter.
Then are we done?
With this chapter.
We're starting a new chapter.
Actually, we might do a work sample after this. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
Finally.
Okay.
Finally.
So, we are going to be graphing today. So you're going to need Desmos. Make sure you got that.
No,
So we're going to start by graphing y equals the square root of x. And to do that, we're going to put a table in Desmos.
Nope. Pay us first.
I'll pay you in grades. Okay, so in Desmos, click on the plus sign and go table.
Yeah.
And then it says x1, y1. Delete the 1 by the x. And instead of y1, delete that whole thing. And we're graphing square root of x, so go square root x. Okay. And then we have to put some numbers in here for x. I'm actually going to change around the table you had on the on your paper there. I want you to start at -3.
Wait, we can go.
How did I do
And then go -2.
this?
Remember, hit the plus sign on Desmos. Plus sign on Desmos to insert a table. Delete the 1 by x.
Wait, what's
And
going
instead
on?
of y1, hit the plus sign on Desmos.
What's going on?
Okay. And then start at -3. And then go -2. And after you do it twice, you actually just press
Easy.
Yep. So do -3, -2, and then after that, after you do -3 and then -2, just press enter a bunch, and the rest of them pop up. So you don't have to keep typing them in, just press enter.
Where am I going to?
Go to like 5. Yep.
I said I deleted all mine.
Shut up.
So just type in again. So, start at -3 and go all the way to 5. But Desmos is nice because after you go -3, -2, you just press enter and all the rest start popping up.
We'll kill you.
You don't have to worry about typing them all. You got it, Lily. Alright, I want to make sure everybody's got the table on here because we're going to use it for the
Oh, you can go to what?
You need to hang on a minute for you, DeAndre?
No, come on. I am actually done now. I just need to
Hey kid, this isn't working.
No.
More, I want more.
Fine. I'll go all the way down.
Hey, get off YouTube.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going all the way to 100.
And then
You just keep pressing enter?
yeah, we'll go to like 5.
I went to
far.
I went to 100.
Alone, Lucas. Okay, so we are going to graph this table. So let's look at this table real quick.
Trash. I'm better than
So on this table, I have -3, -2, -1. What does it say by those?
don't care.
Undefined.
Undefined, right?
Go home, go bed.
It says undefined here. And then starting at 0, it's got some numbers. I have 0, 1, 1.4, 1.7, 2, 2.2.
I'm going all the way to 1,000.
So I'm going to fill in my table here. So I had 0, 1, and then, what was it, 1.7? No,
What are we
1.4,
doing? I don't
1.7. 1.4, 1.7, 2,
I went
and then
all the way to-
undefined.
No, it's 2 point.
Alright, so I got this table here, right?
It's 2.2.
I am going to graph it on 4. You sure?
Oh, I thought we were going to 5.
No, we're going to use 5 later. So I had you put a bunch on here because we're going to use them later.
I think
Right
I
now,
broke it.
we're just kind of looking at the ones in the middle here.
I think I broke Desmos.
You didn't break it up, no.
Yeah, look, come over here.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
Oh, okay, it's fixed.
Ah, fix it.
No, it's not fixed.
Okay,
It's
so
broken.
we are going to graph this table we just made. So I have 0, 0, right? I'm going to put a dot at 0, 0.
No, you-
I'm going to put a dot at 1, 1.
Yeah,
Then I have 2, 1.4, yep. 3, 1.7. 4, 2.
So then. Oh, okay, got it.
Okay,
Got it, yeah.
so I've got my dots, and I need to
Okay,
connect
okay.
my dots, right?
All the way to 500 iron.
So, because when I went on -1 and -2,
Yeah.
it said undefined, that means my graph doesn't exist over there. So when I make these dots, I'm going to start here at my first one. I'm going to kind of make an arrow go out to the right like this and level off. And I'm not going to put an arrow over here on the left side. Because when we graph square roots, they are going to look kind of like that.
This
They're going to
looks
look kind of like a
different from
hill.
Because mine says 1 and then 1.4 and then
Yeah.
1.7.
Uh-huh.
When I put them on the lines, it doesn't look.
Maybe you graphed it wrong. I don't know.
That's hard. I don't understand it.
Get off YouTube, that'll help.
Because if it's 1, 1, it'll be 1.
And then 2, 1.4. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I didn't even check the graph. I should have done that first.
1.7.
Shut up.
A little lower. Yeah, right there. Yeah, you got it.
There's so many
You got it.
dots on the graph.
Not bad.
No.
Alright, so we got a graph, right?
Oh my god.
So I'll let everybody get this real quick. So this is the basic version of our square root graph.
Well, that's the only.
So it's gonna look like this. It's kind of like it's like a hillside or something, maybe. Kind of a steep hill that levels off.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at some similar graphs. So let's look at this next one. We're gonna look at the square root of x plus 2. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to Desmos,
Hold on.
and we're gonna add that plus 2 in right here. And remember, the plus 2 should be outside the square root. And Desmos is nice because I don't need to actually delete anything. I just need to go plus 2. Like that.
Oh.
And then let's look and see what our graph looks like here. So, I still have some undefineds, right?
Nope.
And I'm going to start at 0. But this time, when I start at 0, I've got 2. Then when I have 1, 3, 2, 3.4, 3, 3.7.
All we know is all we
4,
need to know is
4.
how to type it in right.
What?
All we need to know is how to type it in right.
For the most part, yeah. So I'm going to go through and make my table here. So I was at 0, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3.4, 3, 3.7, and then 4, 4. And I'm going to graph these just like I did before.
Whoa, whoa.
So 0, 2 is right here. I'll put my dots. 1, 3 is right there. 2, 3.4, 3, 3.7, 4, 4. And when I had all those negatives in there, they were all undefined. So I'm going to put my arrow starting right here, going over to the right. Like that.
So I'm not gonna be here after lunch. I don't wanna cry.
You realize that if you don't do the test now, you just do it. You still have to do it. You don't get out of it.
Unless you
You
fail.
may as well just get it done now and then not worry about it. Because if you don't do it this week, you're just going to do it next week. And maybe they'll just grab you like first period and make you do it all day. Yeah.
I don't wanna do it with the juniors. I hate them all.
It's quiet. It won't bug you. There.
Their presence just annoys me.
Mm.
Like right now, just these two, I'm slightly irritated, but not enough to care.
Alright. So we got this graph, right? So,
That hurt
going
me
back to
emotionally.
normal.
Or that hurt me physically,
No, no.
that hurt me emotionally.
Okay. So I had this plus 2 on the end of this graph, right? How did this plus 2 change the graph from my original? So this is my original, right? What did the plus 2 do?
Put it up just 2 points higher.
It went up 2, right?
We counted up.
Plus
Counted
2.
up.
Literally, it's the same thing, just up 2.
That's right. All right. What about,
-3 is just
what do you
down
think's going to
3.
happen on this one?
Go
It's
to
gonna
minus
go
3.
down.
It's going to go down 3.
I feel like we're in Blue's Clues and you're asking us questions and you're waiting for us to answer. And then, like,
What's this one?
All right, so find out on your own. Change your table on your own and let's see. Does it go down 3? Let's find out. So in Desmos, change the table
oh, what's
and
that
we'll see if
show
you're
where
right.
all those kids are in the spaceship?
Oh, I don't know.
Little Einsteins.
Yeah.
Oh, I think of Ferris Bueller. Remember when he's like, that history
Wait,
teacher was
hey.
like trying to like ask him a question and there the answer
Do
on
I
himself?
have
He's like,
to-
anyone?
Do I have to have these
What
negatives?
color is this?
God, you remember when that show was
Can
a
you tell me where it
Oh, like,
is?
when you graph
Can
it?
you
No.
Tell me where
So, like, you're going to start the
There
first one
it
as a
is.
number.
I
So,
said that a long time
Oh
ago.
shit. I
Triggered.
Dora was the worst
Where
of that.
is it? I can't find it. Can you see
It's
it?
like,
It's right there.
You
If you ain't get that
So,
switch
no,
pad,
don't-
it's a
don't
blue
raise them.
pad.
Why?
You guys are
Because
you guys
you're
are
in
with
the-
you guys are Dora when she
so you're going to start
Yeah.
at 0
Help
and
me,
go like
guys.
4.
Swiper, no
When you graph, when you
swiper.
make your table.
If you
I
see
see
this
this,
screen,
so don't-
Swiper, no
I see
you
this
see
swiper.
the screen of the TV screen shit.
Oh, man.
I
I brush your teeth.
So there's no
I
number.
can't do it now.
Timmy, why do you do that?
There's a number.
Okay.
I think that's it.
I can't do it
I
now.
think you fucked up your voice from doing it yesterday.
Oh,
Like, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, my voice got bad.
All right, hey, you guys are doing this problem on your own. Remember, change Desmos, and then get your table, and then graph it, and we'll see if you were right. If it really is down 3.
You know what? You're down 3.
Oh.
Whoa.
I'm just
Dude, I think you need to go.
Dude, I'm so sorry. Go again.
Wait.
I don't even know what that means.
Dude. Hold on.
I should leave. That was pretty bad.
That's inappropriate.
I'm not okay for this school. I gotta
watch
go.
this video again and
Dropping
figure
out.
out what that means.
What? Oh wait, you're recording? Oh.
Listen to your mom.
Oh, wait, so you're...
No,
don't do it. Wait,
Everybody
okay,
else
so
freaked out.
you're
Oh,
recording right
no.
now? He was number 1.
Yo, check out my new mixtape.
Don't delete the numbers, DeAndre.
I didn't delete the numbers. Oh,
Where are all your negatives?
I don't know.
I don't tell you.
I can't tell you how to kill
Oh, okay.
you. Negative 10. Ow. You hear that? You hit me.
Negative 3. Ow.
You messed it all up.
Messed it all up.
So what is it?
Wow.
So
he was
No.
number
Not
one.
funny anymore.
Papa Booey. You're guilty.
Go home, go bed.
So what if I was?
Gold.
They put negative 3 here.
So
I just need to get 18 already.
This is
18 money.
minus 3, right?
No.
Okay. And then so
Okay,
you
just
just
give-
go like negative 3,
Cause like,
negative 2.
You can't do anything when you're 18, so.
Oh.
Okay.
no.
Yeah, when you do
No,
this,
it's like-
you don't need
it's
to
like-
change anything except this piece right here.
My
That's
parents
all.
don't care what my sister
Don't
like.
delete these.
They don't care what
delete
I do
that.
because I'm responsible, but I was actually I can.
Okay.
Okay.
But like,
All right.
I ask for some
Okay.
stuff. When I'm 18, I can do it a lot.
So,
Don't come to me.
why
Stop!
are you like holding them up if you don't even look at them?
Because you were, I saw you look down, and my phone was just kicking it right here. And
Well, you're moving
Dang,
your foot
they're
around,
really
so
toes.
what do you expect?
Look at those bending them back.
Okay.
Look at those toes.
Ew.
All right, so let's see. Were you guys right?
stop!
What
Yes!
goes away?
Yeah.
There's children
So,
here.
Ira, what'd you get for 0, 0? Or what'd you get for 0? Excuse me.
Take a
Zero,
picture of
negative
your
3.
toes.
Negative 3.
Ew, what the-
DeAndre, what'd you get for 1?
Bald.
Negative 2.
Lily, what'd you get for 2?
Negative point 5. 5 both.
Okay. Jake,
That's
what'd you get
not
for
what I
3?
got.
You said
Where-
negative.
Keep it back or
You mean 1.5?
Yeah, I'm sorry, no, 1.5.
There you go. Alright, Jake, what'd you get for 3?
Negative 1.2.
And
I
Lucas,
didn't
what'd
get
you get for 4?
Negative 1.
Okay. We'll graph them real quick. 0, negative 3. 1, negative 2.
Wait,
Dude.
whoa. Wait, are you saying that these sophomores, are they gonna do the thing with us?
The work sample?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they could probably do one their junior year, and then they
Yeah.
won't have to do one their senior year.
Yeah.
What?
That's bull!
Ha.
You don't even have to care about the S-back math. You
You
son
do
of a...
because you still have to do it.
You know what? No.
They still have to do it, but I mean, even if they pass it,
Well,
Yeah.
if you pass it, it'll benefit nothing. But even if you don't,
No.
you won't even have to do anything.
What if I pass
does it
it?
really matter?
What if I
don't?
I
Yeah.
mean, I probably won't, but.
You
what?
gotta
Then you don't have to do
repeat
work
the
samples.
paper. You
Alright,
gotta eat.
so we're gonna keep going. We're keeping going.
You gotta
Flush.
Why
Okay.
didn't you do it with us last
So,
time?
this time around, because we didn't think of it until this
You
week.
know what?
Alright, so this time around, I'm gonna graph y equals the square root of x plus 3.
Donkey.
But this time the plus is inside the square root. What do you think the plus inside the square root is gonna do?
It's, man.
Make it go
Is that
down.
divide?
Because it's
or
gonna probably
plus?
change.
Whoa, it makes it go 3 that way instead.
Alright, Lily says she thinks it might go down because
No,
being
both of
inside.
us say
No,
that.
no, Lily's wrong.
Up.
No, Lucas, Lily's wrong, but
Luke has already typed it in, he doesn't get a guess.
Nuh-uh. What?
Alright, so let me change this on here, and let's take a look.
I bet it goes up.
The only thing to do is do rap god.
Alright,
A young
so looking at the stops, what happened?
They went this way.
They went left, right? Or left, right? Right, left, left.
That's
So
right.
I'm gonna make my table and I'm gonna graph it real quick. So on this one, I've got numbers here, -3, don't I? I have -3, 0. So I'm gonna start my table at -3, and I'm gonna go to like 1.
It's not hip hop, it's pop. You're pop.
So I'm actually gonna start at like -3.
So
I'm gonna erase these numbers
You
because I should have done a better job.
Bro, that was
-3, 0.
Face is bad.
I had -2, 1.
Whoa!
-1.
Defensive.
Gookie, get this kid out of here.
Point.
These memes
What
will
was it, 4?
offensive memes.
Your meme game is way too
And
strong
1.10.
now. Take it easy.
Meme guy.
Alright, so I had -1, 2, 3, 0.
It's reaching 9,000. Just kidding.
I had -2, 1. I had -1, 1.4, and 0, like 1.7. Alright, so on this one, when I had a +3 inside my square root, which way did it go?
Doing that.
To the right. Wait.
That sounds like that laugh off
Everything
of Michael
you
Jackson when he laughs. It's like ah.
Oh yeah,
Really?
really, really, yeah.
But the arrow's going right.
That's true, the arrow is going to the right. But the first point. How is the first point different from the original? And the original starts here, right? So the first one went left. So, on this one, when I added 3 inside my square root, I actually went left 3.
To the left. To the left.
I actually went left 3.
I said that.
I know, but we had to go through it. Alright, what about if I'm going to -1 inside? Which way do you think we're going to go?
Down.
To the right.
No,
Right.
inside.
Right side to the right.
Right, alright, let's try it. It's your guys' turn. Find out.
But sir, I need to go potty.
Well, you better hurry then.
Can I go now?
Also, Lily goes first.
Who?
Lily.
Lily has to go every single day.
You can go if you want.
Not yet, though. We're not done
Go on
yet.
that
Are you
bottle right there.
serious?
No, not yet. We're almost done.
Lucas,
Bye.
that bottle right there.
And actually, let's get this one. Alright, on your own,
I'm gonna hold my nose
make the
there.
table and then graph
You gotta do
square root of
this right.
x minus 1. Let's see if right one.
Earlier
Let's see if you guys are
you
right
said
with the right one. So let's go. Come on.
Let's go.
Change it in Desmos.
Let's go.
Let's see if you guys are right.
Which one?
Square root of x minus 1.
Okay, yeah. I was right.
Wow,
You
what?
said right. What? What?
Illuminati confirmed.
I will right. What?
Alright, did it go right one?
Oh.
He's going right one.
Did it go right one, Jake?
Should I just have a
Yep.
soundboard for every class?
Whoa.
Yes.
Alright.
I'm gonna stop you.
So we're almost done, but
Sorry,
let's
bruh.
keep
Don't
going
get
over
tripped,
it.
bruh.
So we're actually gonna do. You actually have 2 exit tickets, but we're gonna do them together.
Whoa,
We're
bruh.
gonna do it. I should have just called them notes, but I didn't think about it.
Break my pencil.
You're a little late for that, Dunder.
All right. So when I added a number outside the square root.
Fake news. I didn't do
So
that.
Ira, when I added outside the square root, what did it do?
It
When it was outside the square root.
Oh.
Turn to the
What
Illuminati.
what up?
No.
What up?
Which way did it go? Up, down,
It goes
left, or
up on
right?
Tuesday.
It went up.
It went up.
Goes up on a Tuesday.
Wait, what's
It
the
went
name?
up. So if I had like a square root of
What's
x
the
plus 3,
It's the 15.
that would go up 3.
Everyone-
All right.
Everyone just chill out.
So when I added inside the square root, what did that do?
It,
What did that do, DeAndre? When I added inside,
Went to the
It made it
left.
go left to right.
I made it goes left to right, and when I add specifically, it goes left. And we're gonna skip this multiply one because that part doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so this doesn't work with just square roots. This is just about everything. Whenever you're gonna add inside, it's gonna move the graph left or right, but kind of opposite of what you think. Like when I added, I went left, didn't I? And when I subtracted, I went right. It's kind of the opposite. You'd think if you added, you'd go right, and you minus you left, but it's backwards. And then when it's outside, it moves up or down. And it moves up or down like normal.
Oh, goes
So
that
if I
way.
had like a plus 3, it would move up 3. We're not done yet. We still have one more exit ticket.
Just go. Just go. Run.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Why not jump?
All right. So let's look at some of these. So without actually graphing these in Desmos, if I have square root of x and then I have a plus 1 outside, which way is that going to go?
Going right.
Up and on the outside, it's going up.
It's going to go up 1, right?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, let me write that down. Up 1. All right. What about if I have the square root of x plus 1 but inside?
Left.
It's going to go left 1.
To the left.
What about if I have a minus 18 on the
What?
inside?
Down.
Down.
On the inside.
Oh, on the inside up. Or right, my bad.
Left, right,
Just
up,
keep
down.
saying directions. South by southwest.
It goes right,
Diagonal. This is going to go right 18. Alright, what about this last one?
On the
I have
outside,
square root
no.
of x plus 5, and then outside I have a minus 7. What's going on in this last one?
It's going.
Someone besides me.
It's going a different way.
That's true. It's going to go a couple different ways, right?
Oh yeah. Down.
It is...
Outside right.
Down. It goes,
What?
oh, it's gonna go 5 and
It's on the
across 7.
outside, so
Okay.
it goes
What
down.
is the down 7, or what's the minus 7 going to do on the outside?
Down.
It's going to go down 7, right?
And then 5 over.
Which way?
Oh, you're trash.
To the right.
Good
To the left.
To the left. And then we're going left 5. So this last one had two things go on. It went down 7, and then it went left 5.
You went down 7, went up 5.
Oh, so
I did on that
Well,
graph.
Hello?
After I done homework. Okay, so I'm going to get you guys your homework. You guys are doing 16 through 20 on the homework, and you're going to graph it like normal. You're going to make a table, and you're just going to graph it like the first ones we did. But on 30 to 34, you're not
Left to
going
right,
to make a
up and
table. You're just going to graph it based on what happens. Like, for example,
Left, right,
on this
down.
one right here, if I were to graph this first one without making a table, I'm going to say, hey, that's going to go up 1, right? I'm going to just make it go up 1 and start.
Oh.
I'm going to make it go up 1 and start. This one is going to go left 1. So if I were to graph it by hand without actually doing anything, I'm just going to go left 1 and make my thing like that. So we're not making a table on 30 to 34, you're just making a rough graph. So you're going to move it the direction it needs to, then you're going to graph it. Okay, let me get your homework. There's no actual exit ticket in